Imagine this. Cristiano Ronaldo, the greatest footballer of our time, stepping onto a pitch like no other. No roaring crowd, no packed stadium, just an eerie silence enveloping the entire field. The ground beneath him gleamed with an otherworldly glow, and the atmosphere hummed with an unfamiliar energy. And his opponents? Well, they weren't even from this planet. They were extraterrestrial beings, unseen, unknown, and undoubtedly skilled. What if I told you that Ronaldo, in all his glory, once faced off against these mysterious beings in a game of football, on their own turf? Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, right? But it happened. A match that defied all reason. A challenge that no human dared to accept, until Cristiano did. Let's take you back to that mind-boggling night. The night when the world's greatest footballer met the unknown. It was a calm and quiet evening, the kind where everything feels serene after a long, grueling training session. Ronaldo was back at his luxurious mansion, his body aching from the intense workout. The lights were dim, the night air cool, and the only sound was the faint rustle of leaves outside. He sank into his favorite chair, eager to unwind after an exhausting day. His phone buzzed, pulling him out of his thoughts. At first, he thought it might be a message from a teammate or a close friend. But as he picked up his phone, a chill ran down his spine. The message wasn't from anyone he knew. The text appeared in strange, distorted lettering, almost as if it had been written by a language from another world. But what caught his attention the most was the frequency. It wasn't from Earth. The message read, "Cristiano, your skills have been recognized beyond your world. We challenge you to the ultimate match. No human has ever dared, but you are not just any human. If you accept, step outside at midnight." Ronaldo raised an eyebrow, thinking it might be a prank. His first instinct was to laugh it off. A joke? Some elaborate hoax? Maybe one of his teammates having fun at his expense. But there was something about the message, the tone, the words, the strange pull, that felt different. He had seen it all in his career, but this was something he couldn't ignore. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, his curiosity grew. Was it a trap? Or something far more extraordinary? He stood up, pacing for a moment. His mind raced. Football was his life, his passion, his everything. But this was unknown territory. Still, the challenge was too intriguing to pass up. What harm could stepping outside do? With a deep breath, he made his way toward the door, his thoughts swirling like the night wind. And then, as the clock struck midnight, everything changed. He stepped into the cool night air, his gaze scanning the stars. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until suddenly, the sky above his backyard began to twist and warp. It wasn't a cloud, nor a plane, but a massive portal, glowing with an otherworldly light, tearing through the fabric of space and time. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. A spacecraft, glowing, sleek, and impossibly massive, hovered above him, defying all logic. It seemed like something from a dream or a nightmare. Before Ronaldo could even process what was happening, a bright beam of light shot out from the spacecraft, surrounding him in an instant. It felt like being pulled into a vacuum, like the world around him was unraveling. His feet left the ground as he was lifted up, his body weightless, and within a matter of seconds, everything he knew, his mansion, the stars, the earth itself, faded away into nothingness. He was no longer on Earth. He was somewhere else entirely. What awaited him next would test not just his skills, but his very understanding of reality. The game was about to begin. Ronaldo barely had time to process what had just happened. One moment, he was in his backyard, and the next, he was standing in a place that defied all logic. He steadied himself, his feet pressing against a field that looked like smooth, polished glass. Yet, somehow, it was firm and solid beneath him, providing the perfect grip for movement. A gentle glow pulsed beneath the surface, as if the ground itself was alive. He glanced around, trying to take in his surroundings. This wasn't a stadium in any earthly sense. There were no seats, no stands filled with chanting fans. Instead, floating energy bubbles hovered high above, each one containing shadowy, shifting figures, spectators, though not of any species Ronaldo had ever seen. Their forms flickered like holograms, their glowing eyes locked onto him with curiosity, excitement, and perhaps even skepticism. Above him, the sky was an impossible shade of deep purple, stretching infinitely, with celestial bodies scattered across it like diamonds. Distant planets loomed on the horizon, some spinning slowly, others ringed with glowing energy. This was no ordinary playing field. This was something beyond human comprehension. And then, without warning, a voice filled his mind. Not spoken, not heard through his ears, but placed directly into his thoughts. "Welcome, Cristiano. You are now in the galactic arena. We have seen your skills, but can you defeat the best athletes from across the universe?" Ronaldo stiffened, his muscles tensing. He turned, searching for the source of the voice, but there was no single being speaking. The words were simply there, resonating through his very bones. A cold shiver ran down his spine, and then, out of the shadows, his opponents emerged. They weren't human, not even close. Towering, slender beings with elongated limbs strode forward with effortless grace. Their skin shimmered, shifting between metallic silver and translucent blue. Their eyes glowed, not with pupils or irises, but with pure light, radiating an intense energy that felt almost hypnotic. They moved as if gravity barely applied to them, their bodies flowing like liquid, yet their presence exuded sheer power. Then, one of them stepped ahead of the group. The captain. This creature was different, taller, more imposing. Its body was covered in what appeared to be a layer of living metal, with luminous circuits pulsing like veins beneath the surface. It had no mouth, yet when it spoke, its words vibrated through Ronaldo's very bones, making the air around him ripple. "Your feet are quick, but are they quicker than light?" Ronaldo felt his pulse quicken. He had faced the fastest defenders, the strongest goalkeepers, the toughest opponents on Earth. But this was a whole new level. Still, he smirked, his competitive spirit burning bright. If they wanted a challenge, they had chosen the right player. He cracked his neck, rolled his shoulders, and took a deep breath. "Let's find out," he said, ready to play the most impossible match of his life. The moment Ronaldo touched the ball, he knew this was unlike anything he had ever played with. It wasn't made of leather, nor any material he could recognize. It shifted beneath his fingers, its surface morphing between smooth, textured, and something almost liquid-like. Yet, it was weightless, as if the very concept of gravity barely applied to it. He bent down to place it on the ground, only to realize it didn't stay down. The ball hovered just inches above the surface, pulsing with an eerie glow. His eyes widened in fascination, but before he could process what was happening, a blinding flash of light signaled the start of the match. Immediately, the opposing team vanished. Ronaldo barely had time to react as one of them reappeared behind him in an instant, moving at impossible speeds. Another player didn't even touch the ball with their feet. Instead, they levitated it, guiding it through the air with nothing but their glowing, elongated fingers. It wasn't just dribbling, it was telekinetic control. Ronaldo had played against the fastest, strongest, and most technically gifted players on Earth. But this was something else entirely. Still, he wasn't about to back down. His instincts kicked in. With perfect precision, he controlled the floating ball, using quick, calculated movements to maneuver through the strange physics of this alien pitch. He spun past defenders, his legendary footwork confusing even these otherworldly athletes. One opponent lunged at him, but he sidestepped effortlessly, the ball glued to his control despite its unnatural floating state. The alien spectators gasped, or at least, that's what Ronaldo assumed the glowing orbs did as they flickered wildly, their colors shifting in response to his display of skill. Even in the galactic arena, speed and technique mattered. Suddenly, an alien forward, taller than any human Ronaldo had ever seen, unleashed a devastating shot toward his goal. The ball moved like a comet, streaking through the air with terrifying force. But their goalkeeper was no ordinary player. Standing in front of the goal was a humanoid robot, sleek and metallic, with glowing red sensors for eyes. The moment the shot was fired, the robot calculated the ball's trajectory in milliseconds. Before Ronaldo could even register the movement, the robotic keeper dived through the air with inhuman speed, extending its arms far beyond normal reach. With an impossible mid-air grab, the goalkeeper snatched the ball before it could even come close to scoring. Ronaldo's jaw clenched. This was going to be tougher than he thought. He had to step up. Taking a deep breath, he locked eyes with his opponents. His body moved on pure instinct as he executed his signature stepovers, his legs moving so fast they became a blur. One alien defender hesitated, just the opening Ronaldo needed. He burst forward, dodging a second defender with a swift turn. He was in position. This was it, the perfect moment to strike. He took aim and launched a powerful shot, only for the alien goalkeeper to sprout extra limbs in an instant, stretching out 4 additional arms to cover the entire goal. Ronaldo's shot, which would have been unstoppable on Earth, was suddenly blocked in midair. This wasn't just football. This was football beyond physics. The match had become a spectacle beyond imagination. Both sides scored goals that defied the laws of physics, each strike more unbelievable than the last. Ronaldo had seen impossible saves, shots that curved through dimensions, and defenders who teleported right in front of him just as he was about to make a move. His lungs burned, his muscles ached, but he refused to stop. This wasn't just a game anymore. This was a battle of skill, endurance, and pure willpower. Every step he took was a fight against forces beyond human comprehension. He had faced the toughest defenders in the world. But how did you dribble past someone who could manipulate time? How did you outrun a player who didn't even need to run, just blinked and appeared in front of you? And yet, Ronaldo adapted. With each passing second, he adjusted to their unnatural speed, predicting their movements before they made them. His instincts, honed by years of playing at the highest level, sharpened to something beyond human. Then, as the final moments approached, Ronaldo saw his chance. A loose pass, a moment of hesitation. That was all he needed. He exploded forward, his legendary sprint speed pushing beyond its limits. He weaved through defenders like a phantom, dodging outstretched limbs, sliding past energy fields that materialized out of thin air. One last obstacle stood in his way. The goalkeeper. Sensing Ronaldo's charge, the robotic keeper expanded, its body stretching and shifting like liquid metal, covering every inch of the goal. Its arms multiplied, its frame widened. There was no visible gap left to score. Any normal player would have stopped, but Ronaldo wasn't normal. He took a deep breath, his mind racing. There was only one option left, the impossible one. He planted his left foot firmly on the glowing ground and launched himself into the air. Time seemed to slow. The alien defenders turned in shock. The spectators' glowing orbs flared brighter, sensing something extraordinary was about to happen. And then, it happened. Ronaldo twisted his body and performed a gravity-defying bicycle kick. His foot connected with the ball, and in that instant, the entire stadium shook. A shockwave erupted from the impact, rippling through the field like a sonic boom. The energy in the ball intensified, and before anyone could react, it vanished. The robotic keeper flinched, its glowing eyes scanning frantically. Where had the ball gone? A split second later, it reappeared, inside the net. For a moment, everything was silent. And then, the galactic arena erupted. The alien spectators, the opposing players, even the robotic referee, everyone was in awe. Ronaldo had done what no one thought was possible. He had scored the unthinkable goal. As the final whistle echoed through the galactic arena, the alien players stood still, their glowing eyes fixed on Ronaldo. The impossible had happened. A human had bested the greatest athletes in the universe. The alien captain, its metallic skin shimmering under the strange celestial glow, approached him. There was no anger, no resentment, only admiration. "You are truly worthy of the legends," the captain said, its voice resonating through the air like a distant echo. "But tell us, Cristiano, is football only about skill?" Ronaldo wiped the sweat from his brow and let out a small chuckle. He had faced defenders who bent time, goalkeepers who sprouted extra limbs, and players who could teleport. But at the heart of it all, football was never just about technique or ability. He looked the alien captain straight in the eye and smiled. "No," he said, "it's about heart, passion, and the love of the game." A long silence followed. Then, one by one, the alien players nodded in respect. Even in the farthest reaches of the universe, they understood. Suddenly, the stadium dimmed. The energy bubbles flickered. The sky above began to swirl. And before Ronaldo could even process what was happening, he was back, standing in his backyard. The night was silent, just as it had been before. The stars twinkled above like nothing had happened. His mansion loomed behind him, untouched. His phone still sat on the patio table, right where he had left it. Had it all been a dream? His fingers twitched, and that's when he felt it. The ball. It was still in his hands. The alien football. It pulsed softly, shifting its texture as if alive. A token, a reminder, a proof that the impossible match had truly taken place. Ronaldo smirked. He didn't need to tell anyone. Some things were best left a mystery. The next day, the Champions League match was electric. The stadium was packed, fans roaring as Ronaldo took to the pitch. But something was different. He felt different. His movements were sharper. His reactions were faster. It was as if he had brought something back from that otherworldly match. And then, in the 75th minute, it happened. A cross came flying toward him. Ronaldo leaped into the air, twisting his body into a bicycle kick, just like the one from the Galactic Arena. His foot connected, and the ball exploded off his boot like a missile, curving in ways no physics could explain. It smashed into the net. The crowd erupted. Pundits called it one of the greatest goals in history. Fans around the world replayed it over and over, trying to understand how it had been possible. Was it just training? Or had Ronaldo brought back something extra from his intergalactic adventure? No one would ever know, except him. Did it really happen? Did Cristiano Ronaldo really play football with aliens? Or was it all just a dream? Well, one thing is certain. When you're as great as Ronaldo, even the universe takes notice. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Would you watch an intergalactic football league? And what would happen if Messi played next? Stay tuned for more crazy stories, only on Fishy Fiction. Rocket Soccer Ball Alien.